It actually goes back a very long way, because in the very early days of CEDR, before I joined CEDR as a director, and in the days shortly after the first clinical negligence protocol was published, a group of people decided they would try a pilot then of mediation for clinical claims. It had pretty well every strike against it that was possible to conceive. It was unclear whether you could get legal aid for doing it. The two pilot health authorities were reorganised in the course of the process. NHS Litigation Authority had a very kind of ambiguous relationship to it. So it really had rather a tough, and it was very firmly voluntary. So actually, that pilot, which took place in around about 1997-8, only managed to cover 12 cases. But they all settled, 11 of them with payments of money, and some of them were quite big, most of them were relatively small cases. One of them was withdrawn on the basis that the claimant, the woman claimant, discovered information about her unborn child, or her stillborn child, that she hadn't known. She said, "That is all I wanted to know." So I count that very firmly as a success. And it's a very interesting early indicator that people are in for making claims, not just for getting compensation. However, apart from a very major incident in relating to the retained organs litigation, where children's organs were being kept by pathologists without parents' consent, which led to two very major mediations in the early noughties, it never really took off. But in about 2014, NHS Resolution decided, or it was then NHS Litigation Authority, before it changed its name to NHS Resolution, which is a very meaningful and important change of name incidentally, decided that they would run another pilot. And they ran a pilot of 50 cases, which CEDR serviced with a panel, and were very pleased with it. And that has led since that time to a permanent scheme contracted out on tender, and in terms of the clinical claims, CEDR and Trust Mediation supply independent panels of mediators to deal with this. So we're not employed by NHS, we are independent of the NHS, which is a very important side to the nature of us as mediators. And we've been doing that now since 2015, and there have been a very good number of mediations since that time, well over 1,000, I think, mediations since the scheme established, with a pretty high success rate in terms of settlement, which I must be cautious, because I don't think that success is, particularly in this sphere, only measured by settlement. So that's where we're at the moment. It is there's still a very small proportion of the claims get settled. Clinical claims get settled in all sorts of ways, by direct contact between solicitors for the claimant and NHS Resolution, or between their panel solicitors, by formal offers being made which are accepted, sometimes by roundtable conferences. But certainly there is a sense in which I think NHS Resolution, in its annual reports, has been emphasising over the years the importance of the collateral benefits of mediation in clinical claims. The fact that people can meet, they can say sorry, they can give explanations, and they can convey lessons learned alongside the process of discussing whether the claim itself can be settled fairly.